Good afternoon. Um, welcome to my live. Wishing you all a beautiful and blessed Sunday, wherever you are around the world. I thought I'd come live. I haven't done a live in a little while, so I thought I'd come live just to bring in some messages and so forth. And I'm sitting here, right, what are we going to be looking at today? Um, I think a lot of the focus at this time is around the divine balance and the balancing of the energies and balance that brings us into that space of love, harmony, peace, and unity. So, balance is very much the message at this time. Also, a lot of messages are coming in from spirit with regards to purification and what does purification really mean for us in what is happening around the world at this time. So, a lot of messages are coming through as I'm connecting up to spirit and to spirit and the ancestors and to the guides. Yes, we are in a process at this time where we are going through purification, whether that be within ourselves and as a planet as a whole, as a collective as a whole, we are going through that process of purification. And this process of purification has been foretold for eons through the ancestors, through the prophecies, through ancient texts, and so forth. And the planet as a whole goes through its cycles, and often or not will go through a cycle of purging and purifying. And we replicate the Divine Mother as a planet as a whole. We go through that purging and so forth. So I thought I would bring in some knowledge and some wisdom with regards to what is happening. And yes, I will probably go a little bit deep on this. So technically what I have been given is a number 12 when I was just connecting and speaking with Horus just before live, and he gave me the number 12. And interestingly or not, he also, I've been seeing the code 15/51. I just saw it just before coming live and I was preparing 1551, and again that's 66. So first and foremost, as I'm connecting with 12 and 66, I want to bring my focus into the Merkaba energy. And the Merkaba, and we, as we connect more fully with the Merkaba is the replication of our light bodies, and who we are as souls, as spirits, and as spirit beings. So as spirit beings, we are here in this now, creating a momentum. We are here in our divine selves, creating that space. We're creating our reality. We are creating our mastery, and so forth. So as we connect with the Merkaba, we connect with number 6. And that's alchemy number 6, and 6 equals 12, which is double Merkaba. Double Merkaba, when we're connecting with double Merkaba and 6, we create that divine masculine and divine feminine energy. Very interesting as well. Just before coming live, I was in my Yondervale group and responding to a message about the moon. And I really want to speak about the sun and the moon. The sun and moon is and always will be serving as metaphors within the system. We have the sun and the great central sun, and the sun and the moon. They are both replication of the divine light. The sun and the moon replicate the divine masculine and the divine feminine. The sun and the moon replicate fire and water. And they also, as we connect with both sun and moon, in the highest octave, will create the divine balance that we need. And again, the sun and moon replicates from a higher octave the balance that we need to achieve in our everyday lives. There's a lot happening and a lot being said certainly within the divine feminine communities, and certainly within New Age communities, where I have actually seen many people looking upon the moon energy as a replication of the Dark Mother, or a replication of something that has been abused and distorted. So if they are looking at the moon in a distortion or a distorted way, I would ask the question, why? Because that's coming in from a lower octave. Yes, the moon has been distorted in many traditions, and many traditions will look at the moon, use the energy of the moon, and so forth. Now, if we look at the moon, and we look at the moon from a higher octave representing the divine feminine and the feminine that's within us as a whole, or as individuals, we need to shift the concepts of what has happened with the feminine principle, because yes, if we look at the history of the feminine principle on the earth, the feminine being suppressed, the feminine not having her rights to speak, and so forth, and we're looking at inequality that has happened throughout many timelines. However, if we work from a higher octave and we want to shift these timelines, we then have to embrace the whole. We have to embrace what the sun and moon truly represent. And if we embrace what they represent and we bring that within ourselves and create the divine space within ourselves, then we are shifting the timelines, because what we don't want is to be embracing timelines that is not going to be serving our highest good. So I am going to say, as the divine feminine incarnated here on the earth, that we must embrace both the sun and the moon. We must embrace the feminine and the masculine, the fire and the water, and so forth, in order for us to reach our maximum divine balance. So this is my recommendation. So this is all coming about, and as I'm connecting with 12, which is the Master 12, the alchemical number 12, 12 times 12 equals 144. 144 is our cosmic selves, our cosmic consciousness, and that is what we need to achieve within ourselves. And in order for us to do that, we enter in this divine balance. And as we connect I want to connect with 12, and 12 being the schools, the 12 crystal schools of Atlantis and Lemuria. So we connect with the 12 crystal skulls, and we create that circle. And it's interesting because I'm just sitting here doing my notes, and I was just looking at that, and basically right in the middle is source. So basically we have source sitting in the middle, and say we're in that circle, and the circle of 12 again. We used to, with the skulls, we used to create the circle and create that vortex of beautiful energy with the skulls. And the skulls also have message. So if you look at the skulls back in Lemuria and Atlantis, they created this beautiful energy. And again, going into different timelines, the Council of 12 that sit up in the ethers, looking at the cosmic energies. So we look at the Council of 12, the 12 crystal skulls, the 12 tribes, the 12 disciples, the 12 knights of King Arthur's table, the Zodiac, the 12 Archangels of Atlantis, the 12 months, and the 12 alchemical stages of purification, and what we go through in order for us to reach our maximum. And then if you bring the masculine and feminine within ourselves, which really, this is where we must embrace, because it starts within, and it starts with self. So we have to balance ourselves. And the purification processes that are underway at the moment is what is now shifting the earth. Because if you look at what's actually happening, we have 6 and 6. You can see that within the polarized field of society, there is a polarization that's happening. And you can see that polarization that has unfolded. But what we are now doing through certain processes and stages at this time from higher octave is bringing that unity consciousness and instilling that unity consciousness back into the hearts of humanity. And this is what we need to do. We need to come back to embrace the law of one. The law of one that creates the divine wisdom, the knowledge, the unconditional love, the hope, the peace, the harmony, the unity consciousness. This sits at the heart of the law of one, and we embraced the law of one back through many timelines. So this is where we are sitting at energetically in this now and time and space paradigm. So I've got some that I'm going to go through stages of purification, and what is it like to go through these stages. Now, often or not, as we're evolving as souls, we're all, and I recognise that each and every one of us are at different stages of our learning and our development, our growth, our evolution. However, we are all, working in a common goal. As we're working upon ourselves, we're working on the collective, we're working on humanity, we're doing whatever we can in our now time, wherever we are at in our soul's journey and evolution. So this is what the beauty of it is. As we're sitting in this sacred circle, we come together with our experiences. So, first and foremost, I want to speak about the 12 alchemical stages, and the 12 alchemical stages is about purification, and what is it like to go through that purification. First and foremost, we ask ourselves, what is a paradigm? What is a paradigm? A paradigm is what we are, is an energy, a shift that we can manifest, and manifestation sat at the heart of both Lemuria and Atlantis. We were able to manifest. So technically, it is a shifting of energy and timeline, and creating a change that is there to serve our highest good. So our paradigm is to bring this heaven down to earth and to create this beautiful energy of what we would see up from a higher octave, to bring that energy down to the earth. So basically, we are working again with certain laws. We become mastering certain universal laws in order for us to make that process to happen. So we connect things with the cause and effect. We master the law of karma. So is karma your friend or is it your foe? I have so many people misunderstand the status of karma, but the more that we connect with ourselves and with our Akashic fields and working upon ourselves to create that space of love, of unity and peace, we are then able to shift our karmic patterns, our karmic ties, our even soul contracts that are no longer serving our highest good. We're able to come into a fuller knowledge and awareness of who we are, what we're here to do, our timelines, our past lives, any past life karmic situations that are we are bringing into the now to clear. Okay. I know Horus and I have worked an awful lot on the Knights Templar. I've done an awful lot of work on the Knights Templar over the years, including the releasing and the pardoning of the Knights Templar. So that then has an impact because it's part of mine, and even though it's part of mine and Horus's Akashic field, him being Jacques de Molay, him having that pardon and release then has an impact on the collective field, because people start feeling that shift, because it's about the divine masculine healing and the wounds of the divine masculine. So anything that can be sitting within certain timelines within your Akashic field can have an impact on the much wider. So whatever you do within your Akashic field has an impact. So what I'm going to say, shifting the paradigm, shifting of the paradigm. So basically, we have to manifest that within ourselves as souls, within ourselves. That's our soul's conscious choice. We make that conscious choice, and that subconscious choice, and that higher conscious choice to make that change. It starts from within. It starts from ourselves, and this is what I'm trying to instill. We have to make that conscious choice. So technically, as we're making that conscious choice, we then make those conscious choices to look at situations that are no longer serving the higher good. So what are those choices that can create a separation, and anything that goes against the very essence of the law of one? The law of one, goes against love, peace, compassion, harmony, oneness, unity. Anything that separates us from that. So when we make that conscious choice, we then be looking at what have we been following within our lives, within our program. So this is part of the awakening. So when we are awakening and truly awakening to spirit, and I have to say, we are awakening to the unseen. We awaken to within, not to the world that's around us, to the events that's around us. We are awakening to our within, our inner, ourselves, who we are, not to what's happening around us, because believe you me, we do this outer look and looking around us. There's so much going on that will lower our energy and frequency. So when we go within, we connect within, we increase our frequency, and this is what we need to do. We need to increase our frequency. So as we're increasing that, and we become, what is no longer serving our law of one that's within ourselves, things like nation, religion, politics, language, any barriers that is going to separate us from the law of one, the unconditional love, the harmony, the balance, the unity, and stuff like that. Anything that's going to separate us from that then becomes it's not, that is not going to be sitting within our energy field anymore. So anything that's going to create a fear, and I have to say these feelings of fear, of anger, of feeling that we want to do, this feeling of fear, a separation, we're no longer going to resonate within that as we are separated. As we want to embrace the power, the shift in our paradigm, because it starts within ourselves. This is not about earth energy. This is not about the earth and great beautiful Mother Earth having to make a change. It starts from within ourselves. So we are the masters of our own paradigm, our own world. So what I want to do is go through the 12 alchemical stages. One of it is calcination. So calcination is a decomposition and the breaking down of our ego, shame and fear of the old paradigms, and this is what I'm speaking about. The old belief patterns, past life traumas. So when we're looking at our Akashic fields and we're looking at past lives, things can come back into now for our knowing, for our understanding. There may be traumas that come up and you think, ooh, this is coming in, the subconscious coming into the conscious. So all this is coming into this now. So, we also often become fully awakened to our twin, they say the twin flame journey. And I'm going to speak a little bit about the twin flame journey, because again, the twin flame journey has become distorted as well. Because the twin flame journey is a spiritual journey. It is a spiritual journey. And within that spiritual journey and this calcination, we are breaking down the fear concepts, because a lot of people come into the twin flame journey and they have a fear of this separation. The separation comes in. So as we're going through this whole process of the alchemical stages, a lot of this is going to come away. The distortions are coming away. And this is what's happening now. In this now, we look at what's happening, certainly in the spiritual communities. We're seeing a lot of coming away now of, as we become more aware that, there are distortions and so forth. We become aware. And we have to be careful, because it's very important as well. As my daughter reminded me only yesterday, that yes, there are what you call obvious distortions, but we're also coming in from different angles and different experiences. So, and no soul's experience is the same experience. So what one soul may feel upon their spiritual journey is an experience, and so forth, may not resonate with someone else who's going through something else. And again, this is a resonance. So what we may not resonate with may not be, it's like one's truth may not be somebody else's truth. However, there is a universal truth, and there is an Akashic truth, and so forth. But however, one soul journey may not be the same as another soul journey. And this is where we have to have the eyes and the ears and the heart to listen, because, we're all on different paths. and all different paths lead into back to the one. So if you think about this, and we're sitting in that sacred circle here, we're sitting in that sacred circle, and this is the path leading back to source. For example, we're all seeing things from different perspectives and angles and so forth. So, you know, this is, you know, my daughter was saying this only yesterday, that someone may have experienced something in Atlantis that may not resonate with you, Mum, because, you know, there was a programming going on, and that may trigger you, Mum, because you don't like agendas and programming. So, you know, all this is coming into light now. So basically, this is calcination. We are going through a process of you know, looking at, you know, eradication of our I call it the false ego, anything that's to do with fear and you know, the vices and so forth. And then number 2 is dissolution. So dissolution, the process of dissolution is the further breakdown of the artificial structures of the psyche by total immersion into the unconscious. And as we're connecting to our unconscious, i.e. submersion, we are connecting with our unconscious. How much are we connecting to our unconscious through connection to spirit world, through our dreams and our visions, the voices, the strange feelings that we can have within ourselves, we connect with the energy, the clairsentience, you know, will, you know, help us to feel this feeling, this energy that we can feel within ourselves. You know, and it, you know, it reveals a lot to us. However, the rational world may not understand how we are feeling and so forth. And this is also you becoming a little bit aware of your spiritual transformation and your surrendering. And again, if you're, you know, working within the twin, the divine, the twin element, and again coming back to the twin, I am fully aware of my twin. A lot of people who are working fully with a twin energy become fully aware working with a twin guide, working with them, and the multi-dimensional nature of the twin journey. The multi-dimensional nature of the twin journey becomes very paramount. You become more aware of your aspects, your emanations, your akashic. The more you are on this process with your twin, this process, you know, is very fundamental. So, number 3 is separation. Separation is what many of us have been feeling over the recent years, months, weeks. This separation, we're even feeling this even in this now. There is a separation happening. It's an energy, what many of us may feel, dark night of the soul. Dark night of the soul, again, will surface up wounds, reactions, actions, anger, frustration, disappointment, not just to self, but to others as well. This is where we see a lot of people expressing, you know, judgment on other people. You know, you get this judgment happening if you're not following the right political party. So the extreme right are condemning those who are following the left, and yet the right and the left are not understanding each other. This is separation. This is a polarized field. This is what's actually happening. So this is not only happening, you know, in a way that it's at soul level, but it's also happening at collective level. So we could see this happening at collective level. It's an energy that's happening. And we've also just had a cosmic planetary alignment of both Saturn and Pluto that has been surfacing this energy that's coming up. So it's about the reviewing of the hidden within ourselves, the shadows that are surfacing, the shadows that need to be addressed, and so forth. Surfacing the wounds. Surfacing the wounds. So these wounds have got to be surfaced, and then we have to prepare ourselves again to come back into that state of forgiveness. Because we are going through a process, and this is a process of purification. And then number 4 is conjunction. Conjunction is an empowerment of our true selves. The union of both our masculine and feminine sides, the Horus Gamos, our inner marriage, and the union of our personalities, who we are, our pure state of consciousness into oneness, the heaven on earth experience, the synchronicities will begin to manifest between you and your counterpart, within, as without, so within, so without, as with the universe, so with the soul. Everything coming back into that experience. And these synchronicities are there as a way of showing you, the universe showing you, and the universe showing you that you are right on track with your spiritual transformation. So this is you being back, feeling that you're coming back into that road of shifting your paradigm from the 3D ego based into 5D consciousness. And then number 5, there's putrefaction, which is putrefaction. The putrefaction process is a decomposition of all darkness, removing all the ego-based false beliefs, patterns, old stuck paradigms, and so forth. And this is about taking yourself from the outside to the inside, and it is taking yourself from an unconscious state of non-differentiation between self and object consciousness and the unconscious, and so forth. It is again a painful growing of awareness of shadow aspects, again through massive spiritual healing and so forth. It is just a pure, again, taking you into the next stages. And then you got the coagulation process, which is a state of new confidence that it takes you beyond all things through the experience that you are becoming your golden body of light. It is your vehicle of consciousness that embodies the highest aspirations and the evolution of the mind. It's taking yourself into that state of being. That state of being, that coagulation that incarnates and releases the ultima materia of the soul, the astral body, and your spirit self. This takes you into a solid light that immerses you within the whole golden light. The golden light, it's the gold chakra, the planetary grid. The coagulation is the return to Eden, the return to your divine self. It's taking you into a much higher state of your divine mind, your divine consciousness. You become golden. You are within that golden sphere, the divine wisdom. And then Cibation, the Cibation, Cibation, Cibation. Again, it is a process. Again, going through another process of changes to help your balance of mind, body and spirit, to anchor the higher frequency energies. So again, further shifting of old patterns. You may feel that you are sensitive to certain foods, so you want to be eating healthily. So the food consumption comes in. So technically, again, anything that is old 3D no longer serves you. Anything that sits at 3D, 4D, it no longer serves you, because you're sitting inside that 5D and above. Because it no longer serves your greater good, and you become aware of a much higher timelines, processes and so forth. Sublimation is a purification process in the completion of the magnus opus, and it is the accumulation of the two bodies and spirits in twin flame connection. We're going into twin flame connection now, the twin flame union being fully anchored within the 5D template. So how does this feel? For me, I work with my divine twin, and this is a lot of people are becoming aware of the divine twins, not the 3D aspect, but the whole, and it is the whole. So I work with the spirit of my twin in this now time. So I can tell you this experience is very, very real. So it's a connection of heaven and earth. So I can tell you it's real. A lot of people don't understand my path unless you go through that process, and these processes you're going through. You know, yes, I do have few people who understand it, but the masses are not kind of at that point yet. They're going through that process. So I'm fully can tell you now that this process is very real. So technically, the twin flame union that I have enables me to bring in the experiences, to bring in the messages from the higher frequencies to help other people in their growth and healing and so forth. And it is a ripple effect. So this is what we're here to do as twins, to bring the template back to the earth so that we are able to not to shift, just to shift and help shift the planet and humanity, but to help each other understand, to grow and so forth. And it is a purification and making a more subtle of all the terrestrial and heterogeneous parts, bringing everything in to perfection, releasing the chains. So, of course, then I'm happy that you're okay. So basically, hoping, when I say hoping, to bring more of the knowledge and so forth, because we're bringing everything back into a unified field. So then you come into number 9, which is fermentation. Fermentation using wine as an example, and this is so interesting because I just shared about the white jaguar. Just shared a post about the white jaguar and what it means. You know, the white jaguar is about purification. The white jaguar, purification, the divine connection with our divine. But coming back to wine and grapes and so forth, takes me back to Dionysus. I'm trying to pronounce the name properly. A Greek deity that rode on the white jaguar with his counterpart, and it has to be the white because it is the symbol of divine. A lot of the false beliefs will take you into the black jaguar, and that is the polar opposite of what we are trying to teach, you know, as part of the programming, because they see jaguars as black and not always white. The white jaguars are very rare. So the rarity is what we are looking at, is a rarity. You understand where we're coming from, because, you know, if you look at the sky, the night sky, the whole of the night sky is black. It's a sheet of darkness, and we come in shining our lights in the dark night sky, and that can be through stars, as in stars, and many of us see ourselves as stars and star seeds, and also the moon, and there are many moons within a system of worlds serving this cosmos. So when we're looking at the light, that's what we need to be focusing on, because that's what we represent. We are there, shining our light. And so technically, this fermentation is about using wine as an example. We learnt that the fermentation, fermentation means the death of a grape, if you look at the death of a grape. And just as there's death, there's rebirth. So basically, as we go through that process, and we go through process of death and rebirth, if you look at creation itself and you look at birth and renewal, if you even look at the birth of the child, a mother, when she gives birth to a child, she has to go through the pains. If you look at the pains and the chaos and the action and reaction that mother will give as she is giving birth. And again, the connection with waters as well. Waters, birth comes from the waters. So a child coming through comes through the canal, is surrounded by water. So this is whole lot of this is connecting within the metaphor. So if you look at the moon being the feminine, connecting with waters and so forth. So we have to, again, it's the death of false beliefs and the false belief patterns, and the relinquishing of the dark night of the soul. And as we're relinquishing the dark night of the soul, we're coming through the canal into the light, if you understand what I'm saying. So see ourselves, dark night of the soul, being in case, we're babies inside the womb of the mother. Dark night of the soul, everything is, darkness. And then we're coming through that birth canal. And we're coming through that birth canal, and we are coming out anew. We're being fully reborn, rebirthed, and so forth. And this is a process of ascension. So, then we go into exaltation. Exaltation is a process of spiritual ecstasy and euphoria, and the connection to Source. We feel connected to Source and the ultimate bliss state of being in that energy. And it is about the spiritual enlightenment, the altered state of consciousness, the feelings of pleasure and excitement, the intense feelings of well-being and happiness. We want to do things that serve our highest good, connecting with our inner child, connection to Mother Earth, wanting to help other people. We also want to do things that we like in our creative times, whether it be to connect with music, to listen to music, even to dance to music. Because dancing, if you see ourselves, the indigenous state, we dance, we move, it creates this beautiful energy. We feel that sense of freedom. We feel that sense of freedom because this is what we are here to experience. So these are processes of spiritual transformation. We're going through this transformation state. We are embracing further freedoms. Number 12 is projection. And projection is the final state of the spiritual journey, this alchemy, the process, the stages, the magnus opus, the ultimate and final stage that has led us from our ego state up into the golden state of divine consciousness, the wisdom, the knowledge, and so forth. And as we're entering into that divine state of being, we become more perfected and purified. And we are able to project this beautiful energy out into the world. As above, so below, as within, so without, as with the universe, so with the soul. So our inner state will reflect into the outer state of being. So it is about entering into divine balance, and as we enter into the divine balance, we create that energy of perfection and bring in that energy of perfection, heaven to earth. We become golden. I work a lot with the golden energy, the Mahatma light. A lot of people see this beautiful energy around me. I'm surrounded in it now. So technically, this is what we call a process that we take, this alchemical stages, the 12 alchemical stages. I personally have not consciously taken myself through these processes. For myself, I followed my heart. I've worked with my twin, my divine twin in spirit. I've gone through processes. I walk the walk and do the talk every day. It is a way of life, but it's also part of my soul journey. But part of my soul journey is to bring this knowledge to you all and to help you on your path, to help you on your journey, and so forth. And to reach out and touch the hearts of you all, whether it be many or whether it be a few. So as we are on this journey, we are on this journey together in a sacred circle. We are learning, we come to learn, we come to grow together. Even teachers are still students, and even I, as a teacher, still learning as a student. Not only am I learning as I'm sharing with my students, and I share many in experience with students, but I'm also a student learning the path. I'm also a student of spirit, learning with them as well. So we're all here learning, and we must not limit our limitless, because there is no limit in our learning. I just want to pull a couple of cards to see if there's anything that Spirit would like to share. So I'm pulling from the right deck. Yep. Okay. So just keep shuffling. Sometimes I shuffle. Right. Okay, I've just pulled a card, and it's Goddess of Creation. Goddess of Creation. And this is about transformation, creativity, and wholeness. So this is very much in alignment with what I have been speaking with you all about. So again, transformation, creativity, and wholeness. And as I'm speaking from, and this is interesting because there's number 7 as well. The number 7 is the connection. As I say, number 7 is the connection with your higher self. The connection with your higher self. So as you are coming in from that into that state of being, going through that transformation, you become aware of your higher self, become aware of your emanations, and so forth. You become aware of your divine self. And this is an interesting one, because this one's come out, and this is the ocean of divine love. And this is the solar and the water energy that's coming through. The ocean of divine love. So you, both masculine and feminine, need to connect with the ocean of divine love, which is healing, creativity and fertility, because this is very much what the energy of the moon is about. From higher accord, it is about fertility and manifestation. So if we are connecting with the moon, we must connect with the moon energy, with love and compassion and wholeheartedness. Ocean of divine love. So fertility is about what we reap is what we sow. What we want to birth shall be manifested. So what we want to manifest in this now time, we need to be working in positive energy. Okay, so this is the flow of energy. So when we want to, when we give blessings up to the moon energy, we give blessings to the moon energy, we then give blessings to ourselves, if you understand what I mean. So this is the ocean of divine love, and that is the moon. And it is the connection with the sun and the moon that creates the balance. It creates the balance. Interesting. Moonlight has come up again. Moonlight, which is about again potential, manifesting your dreams and desires. And as we connect with the moon, this is what we connect with our inner. This is about going within, connection within. And it's interesting because there's trees there, and the tree energy and the water energy is all connected, because it takes us within ourselves. It takes us to our heart space. And this is what we are being called to do. And this is very interesting, because I am working with the Gaia deck. I'm working with the Gaia deck, which is the divine feminine. And a lot of these cards will come with moon energy as well as solar energy. Right. And this is remembrance. Remembrance, as we are as we are evolving on our paths, we're connecting within ourselves. We become more aware. We go into that state of remembering. And it is the resurfacing of feelings and emotions as well, and the shadows that need to be healed. And this is interesting because the cards are actually confirming what I've been talking to you about. And this is what happens when you are working from spirit, in alignment with spirit and your higher self. You then get those confirmations that you are on path, and it's what you call the synchronicity. And this is where we are heading to. It's harmony. Harmony. Where there's harmony, there's balance, there's love, there's compassion, there's our true qualities coming through. Harmony. And again, this is about entering into your own self-confidence, empowering yourself, productivity. The more you empower yourself, the more you're able to help others to grow. This is what this is about. This is why we're on this journey together. Empowering yourself to be the best that you can be. And that is, harmony is embracing our true qualities. We're stepping out of the old program, and they're programming the old paradigm into the new paradigm. So this is what paradigm is about. When we're stepping out of the old, purifying ourselves, going through that purification, going into the new. So this is what this is about. And as we do that, we're releasing. This is night wind. We're releasing the fears. The fears. The night wind is about releasing, about healing, and it is releasing also the releasing of fear and all the old patterns that keep us stuck. This is a whole process. So and again, it says thinking of you. This is about being in service to others. When we are out of that old programming, we become we're not serving ourselves. We're here to serve others. But at the same time, we have to equip ourselves in order for us to reach this step. So, yes, we have to take care of ourselves and nurture ourselves, but we're also thinking of others at the same time, and we're in service to each other. And this is the service card, thinking of you. And yes, from my heart to your heart, I think of each and every one of you, because that then becomes the achievement. This is the heart chakra being activated, because whatever we do in this now comes from the space of the heart. Everything. This is the center of our qualities, the center of who we are and what we're here to do in this now. So I like how the cards come in and confirm the message. I want to send love, light and healing to you all. And I say healing. Some of us may not need healing. Some of us may need healing. So I have to say, I want to send love, light and healing out, because anyone that may be listening to this message may want to receive healing. So that is the intention for those who need the healing. So, and I always say, send love, light and healing to you all, and encouragement, because we are here in this now. In this now, we're going through, many of us may be going through challenges. It is a challenging time, so that's why healing is always at the top part of my message as well. So I want to just to finalize this beautiful message coming through, just to send healing out to Mother Earth, to all those whom are in need of it at this time, to those in hospital, and to those who are in hospice or receiving veterinary treatment, for I pray and send healing out to all here on Mother Earth. For those who are in care homes, to the children, to the elderly, and to the frail, and to those who are experiencing emotional and mental difficulty, and to those who are having difficulties through famine, through warfare, through conflict. May they find peace within their hearts. I now then send love out to you all. Thank you for joining me in this sacred circle. God bless you all. Enjoy your beautiful weekend. God bless. Namaste.